Okay, it's playing through the right speakers. It might have been playing through the right speakers the whole time, but I was just hearing things. I don't know. Welcome, everybody, to another day of 12 days of Minecraft. I am recording this literally an hour after finishing the last video, as I really wanted to get this done, this roof here. That's one spot zombies and stuff can spawn on top of my roof, unfortunately. I need 3 more. Oh, man. I only have 2! After figuring out the whole fiasco about not having enough deep slate for the roof, I quickly forgot how to do everything and eventually figured it out again. Okay. I should have 3 left over. I can't tell if I did that right or not. I did not. Right here. After putting all the andesite into the house, I had realized I actually didn't have enough andesite for this entire area, so I decided it'd probably be a good idea to hit the mines. There seems to be andesite across there, but there's also some right underneath me. That's andesite. But, why get to the easy stuff when I could do this whole bridge thing, right? And mess up the bridge. And not fix it, and leave. $56 should be plenty for me to get what I need. It was certainly enough. Man, that's a bright sun. And the sun was very bright. Almost the entire day spent finishing off the rest of this house. It took almost the entire day to finish off the rest of the house, but we did get it done. Doing a little bit of cleaning up on the outside here. We went ahead and lit up the inside. And we made sure we filled up this little hole here as well. Finally, time to get out of this little den. I was ready to move into a real house. Go ahead and move all this. Let's go deep plate stuff in this chest, wood stuff in this chest. Spending the night of 37th here. I was looking forward to the rest of this 12 days. Fortunately, I was able to stay inside the house. I devised a plot for easy escape. Oh boy. There was a skeleton hiding in the enchantment room, but he wasn't too much of a challenge. Yeah, I probably should light this area up a bit. Wood stuff. Deep slate. Have a food chest. I guess plants could be a category, right? Plants. Dirt, snow, cobblestone. It took a while for me to do, so, you know, maybe there should be a little bit of music to go along with this. This chest ended up just being stuff I knew I would need a lot. I decided I needed a furnace area and didn't want to build an entire new house just to have some furnaces just yet. So I decided this corner here would be good enough for a furnace area, and began smelting just a couple of the ores I had just stuffed away over here. Looking around before I finally said goodnight, I was still kind of worried about getting shot from the side by a skeleton, but I don't actually think it would be possible for them to shoot me there, so truly worrying about nothing. I was having trouble deciding where certain things should go, but I ended up deciding on a villager chest, which ended up being a random objects chest that couldn't find any real use for just yet. Doing a little bit of farming and reflecting about how empty my village felt. You know, a village of one seems very lonely. Failing to get that dog last episode had really spoken to me. So Control O. Awesome! Seeing all the sugarcane that I had, I figured it would be a good idea to make a couple of maps. And with a map, I had an adventure. Yeah, it does. doing a little bit of excavating, I allowed myself to finish up the path so then I could get a little bit more concisiveness into the direction of where the village was going. Isn't that interesting? Having a little bit of music in the background, it really does help out, doesn't it? This video is probably going to get copyrighted because I absolutely did none of the research that I needed to figure out if this is a copyrightable song or not. Getting stuck here meant I kind of had to jump out. Allowing myself to join into a new day, I, this time, came prepared with a boat. And going back into the ocean, I would find the mysteries of this world, to see the unseen, to find the unfound. These are the markers of a true adventurer. Finally finishing off this map, I got everything I needed, and I started heading back home. Getting home, I decided I'd collect some of my berries and start to mine trees. Not only are these trees in the way of progress, they also make quite good material for charcoal. Having all this meat in my inventory has made me decide that having food is a necessity. Always making sure you are well stocked on food is the way of an intelligent man. And I am not an intelligent man, so I need to learn how to do that. Before I knew it, night had set, and I would be brought into day 42 as I slept. I should probably block this off, though, so I don't get stuck again. With this little puddle, I shouldn't have to worry about falling and taking that minor amount of fall damage. Hopefully it works out. I hadn't had quite enough room. I decided I would expand into the birch forest, and began using it as a good source for all of this charcoal. making sure I had plenty of cows. I saw a couple of them hiding in here and figured I could get them as well. I was looking at this treasure map for quite some time, trying to figure out quite where I was on it. And I saw that it head towards the jungle that I had been to in the first 12 days. I thought you might be getting bored of that song. Rushing to find the treasure chest, I had finally found the spot on the map which it would lay, deciding to start digging immediately. I needed to find it before night fell. I'm usually quite good at finding these things, but today seemed to not be my lucky day, as I dug for quite some time. I tried aligning myself perfectly on the map, but alas, I couldn't find it. I was noticing the shadows rising, and I started to panic, thinking it might be hidden underneath the sandstone. Seeing the shadows completely overtake my cave, I was scared, not knowing when the sun was set, only knowing that it would happen relatively soon. I decided cutting down this tree to make a shovel was the only way I would find it today. So I began digging again, and immediately found it. Unfortunately, I had seen night was falling. There wasn't much time now. To get back home before night had fallen. Night had begun, and I was nowhere closer to home. Scouting the shoreline, I needed to make sure I didn't come up on any mobs. I decided to make a run for it, but in my way stood many mobs. But I continued to run. Nothing could catch me. I am the fastest creature alive, and as I made it into my home, I quickly slept. I miss the water though. Yeah. I'll have to work on the landing. Yep. Landings. The amount of charcoal I was getting, I could evenly spread out to almost all of the furnaces I had been placing down. But it wasn't quite enough for me, as these birch trees had been a nuisance to me. I wanted an open field, and I was going to get it. Getting a little sugarcane and finished planting it around our Sunraku here. Checking on my furnaces and making sure that I had plenty of coal to go around. I went ahead and made some torches and an iron pickaxe and started heading into the mine. I decided I was going to be branching off somewhere in the stone layer still. Luckily, I brought my wooden shovel from earlier and ran into all of this clay. I did find a mine shaft. I decided I would start lighting it up. There are plenty of mobs inside, so I'm glad I did decide to do that. And I found this open room that was randomly filled with skeletons. There are at least 5 of them, and I had only taken 2 out. I saw the 3rd, and I took my time taking care of him. Looking for the remaining 2, I found both of their drops, so the other skeleton had taken care of them for me, very thankfully. And as I began making this place a little bit safer, I started mining. Unfortunately, there seemed to be a spider spawner somewhere nearby. I decided to run back as I wanted to be able to heal from the poison. Unfortunately, I had found where the spiders were coming from. I ran away and decided to heal while I was back in the big room, and eventually came back to fight the spider. Putting a little torch on top of its house should save me from any future problems. Seeing all these rails started to fill me with some kind of idea, so I started picking them up, and also exploring just a little bit more. Making sure to pick up any of the rails as I went along. I found my way back, and I made sure to dig a little bit more this way, so then I would always know which way I came from, and it would be easier to find the hole. Okay, don't get carried away. Turn around. Let's go. By the time I made it back up, it was almost morning. So I fought through the night and ran into my house, into the storage area. Making sure to smelt up any of the stuff I had just gotten in the cave. I went around checking chests pretty empty-mindedly, without any real plans of what I was doing. I put away a couple of the tracks and checked on the iron's progress. The gold had finished, fortunately. And, wow, that was an experience. Don't do that, you idiot. Ah! Why is there a creeper here? What? My build. Took me a minute to fix this up, and I'm not even sure if I actually finished fixing it. but I made it look alright for the time being. If you saw there's a brief moment of something I didn't fix there, but it's fine. It's fine. Going ahead and messing with my plant farm to kind of get an idea of what I was doing for the rest of the day. I went ahead and bred some more of my cows, as I would be needing their leather very, very soon. I went ahead, ran up here, and tried to make some rails. I figured out you needed to make a minecart first for some reason. But with that, I would start on my railway plan. It was getting pretty late, so I went ahead and slept, though. Don't worry about me. I'm smart. I do the sleeps. I went ahead and made some more rails with the first minecart I had made yet. This path was quite treacherous, but fortunately I was able to change the direction of the layout of the land. And this would allow me to actually be able to bring anything up here. With a solid railway system, I had almost finished. I saw I wouldn't quite be able to make it, so I ran back and started working on making more rails as soon as I got back. I had to settle with only making 32, as I saw that my iron deposits were getting quite low, and I needed to save up on them as much as possible. Figuring out that I couldn't place them on path blocks was quite the surprise, and unfortunately slowed down a lot of my progress here. I had to kind of walk up to these guys and set a trap here. Having the trap set, I tried to spring it and realized I was an idiot. After fixing the trap, I sprang it, caught the man, then I found that I was still an idiot, and tried my best to fix it, having to grab more rails in the end. And voila! One captive audience member. With just a little bit of effort, I ended up getting him back onto the railway system that I had already made. And just like that, I pretty much got him home. No problems. I was having trouble sleeping, so I figured I would just stuff him inside this house. But, I didn't know how quite to get him in. Pushing him kinda just made him get stuck on the trail. So I devised an extremely genius plan. Villagers can sleep slightly before players can. So, if I just broke this, his pathfinding would bring him straight to the bed. And locking him up inside, making sure he couldn't escape, I could easily sleep the night away without worries. Getting back into the village, and once again setting my trap and capturing someone, making sure to take any of the workstations these guys might be attuned to, I decided to run this guy all the way back to my base. Unfortunately, he's quite the stubborn one, and fought back quite a few times. But I got him back. Fortunately, once I got him to this part, I had no problems, and he went straight back to my place. Made sure to break some of the rail here, and try to just help him in. Trying to figure out the best way to make this turn and let him in. I pushed him, and I got him in there. Then I went around and got rid of all these rails, as I wouldn't be needing them, seeing as I now have 2 villagers in my place. I had already broken 1 iron pickaxe on this entire journey over here, and by the time I had finished, this iron pickaxe was looking pretty low. It was quite unfortunate that I had wasted so much iron after I knew that I was running pretty low. But with 2 villagers here, it wouldn't be too much of a problem, as villagers are worth all the iron in the world. Making sure I could actually land that this time. I tried to give these 2 jobs. Unfortunately, one of them seemed to be preoccupied. I was sure he would change eventually, but as for now, he still wasn't quite liking it here. I made sure to trade with the stick villager a couple of times. And I let him roam free for a little bit, because maybe a little bit of freedom would bring comfort. Waiting for night to rest. I finally got to. That brings us into our final day of day 48. Heading back over to the village, making sure that I broke anything that might attract these guys back here. Not really caring what happened to the rest of the villagers. Taking all these beds, I saw that this guy would not want to stay at my village after all. And, well, that could be a bit of a problem. I was going to ignore it for now, and try my best to take care of my 1 villager that I have. I'm spoiling him with beds. Think these armor stands will spice up the place. Make sure to give this guy pants. And you don't have pants. Wow. It'll be fine. I want to go ahead and move these guys out of here. Well, these guys, it's really only 1 of them now, isn't it? Well. Village of 2 is better than village of none, right? I finally had a roommate. Someone who would stay in the village with me. Gonna call him Jeremy. Yeah, that's the villager's name. His name's Jeremy. I went ahead and ran underground so I could start taking care of my mine a little bit. Continuing the mine, I found another cave. Not quite a lot in here, really, but a lot of mobs, actually. There's that. Took care of most of them pretty easily. Oh, there's a little iron here. Continuing on, I end up finding another cave. This one had gold and iron. Pretty interesting stuff, right? Plenty of good stuff. I mean, plenty of it. I decided I'd start heading back up. And it looked like the day hadn't taken all that long for me to do all of that. Perhaps it was because I was using my diamond pick. I went ahead and started cooking up the iron. Trying to check on Jeremy. He wasn't at his house. I looked around for a while, but he was gone. Perhaps night had fallen. Why would he leave? Was he unsafe? I don't know what could have happened. Well, I guess we're back to a village of one now. Just in case he ever wants to come back, I'll leave him these spruce gates, and he'll be safe. Yeah, it's not at his old house. I'll put some bookshelves down. At least then I can make some enchantments. Once I hit level 30, that is. Killing all of my cows. I had 15 leather, and you know what that means. Finally, I would be able to have the item frames I needed to label my sorting system. Going through here and finding the best thing to mark each chest was a little time consuming, but the power of editing, as you can see, I can make it no time flat. Love the sound, like a plop, plop, plop. Very, very fun. I like the sound. I could listen to it all day. After labeling the chest, I saw that I didn't have one for the minecart, so I took one and then put it there. There was no longer a chest. Grabbing all the sugarcane I can, and really just trying to clear my head, as it was the last day. I farmed a little bit, trying to get all the wheat that I could, missing a couple, but it's not too big of a deal, right? I went ahead and ran to my house, into my bed, and with that, I hope all of you have a good day. Make sure to like and subscribe.